kick off?
That sounds like a plan.
Over to you.
Actually, I thought it was over to you, this being LinkedIn, and that's your side. However, we're going to go through your profile, so if any of you are not on LinkedIn, you should be. I had a very interesting comment on the event page on Facebook saying, I haven't got a degree, so I'm not on LinkedIn. You don't need a degree to be on LinkedIn, guys, so if you don't have one, please go and set yourselves up, off the webinar, obviously. And you can also put your company on there as well, but Dev's going to kick off with all sorts of wonderful things. We always forget to tell you who we are. I think we managed to remember it last time. As many of you know, the Social Media Cafe was my baby that I kicked off, because it didn't occur to me that you guys were not using what I'd been using for over 12 years to grow my business. Because it was free and out there, I just assumed the world and his wife was using it. They weren't. I have worked with businesses tiny and huge using social media, and we always share what it is that has worked for us and for other companies. Dave Griffin has a brilliant business as well, helping people, and I'm going to hand over to him to tell you a little bit more about himself.
Yeah, my main background is I spent 18 years in the Royal Air Force, came out and I've been working with big organisations and small businesses as well. I'm a business coach and mentor. I've spent 7 years online, including building a multi-million-pound property development company, mainly online, and that's where a lot of my experience has come from. LinkedIn, let's move on to that. Absolutely a phenomenal tool for businesses. Over 120 million professionals are now on LinkedIn. Originally brought out as a recruitment tool, but now used as a key business social networking tool. The average salary or net worth of someone on LinkedIn is £65,000. So there is an awful lot of contacts on there that if they're not your direct customers or clients, they certainly know your direct customers or clients. So it's very much worthwhile getting your profile on there as accurate as you can be. And what we're going to do tonight is we're going to dip in and out of between this PowerPoint, but also go live to LinkedIn to actually show you some bits and pieces. And let's do that now. So if we have a look at my LinkedIn profile here, so as you can see, there are lots of different segments to your LinkedIn profile, and it astonishes me that a lot of business owners and professionals don't fully complete it. It used to be that if you were going to meet someone, networking, whatever, that they would talk to you about, find out about you, but now people will search you online through social media, Facebook, Twitter, and especially LinkedIn, to find out all about you, your history, and your business. So it's absolutely imperative that you have your presence there as accurate and up-to-date as possible. There's nothing, you know, this is almost like your CV for business. So you wouldn't want someone who you want to use become a client or a customer actually going there and finding actually you put very little on there, that actually you have very few connections, you don't use it, or actually you don't have. So if we look at the screen, we've got current businesses, past businesses, your education, recommendations. This is a huge successful area that you can use LinkedIn. That they have a system set up for you. It's so easy to get people to recommend you. Now, if I'm looking you up and actually finding out whether I want to do business with you, then the fact that actually all these people, so you can see here, 61 people have recommended me, that you know, they'll have a look at that, and if we go down the page, they'll actually be able to see those recommendations here. What a fantastic tool, social proof of what people already think about me. So the fact is they're already warm to doing business with you before they've even maybe met you or gone into that sales meeting with you.
Actually, what he said about people looking you up first is absolutely the case. I connected with somebody on Twitter and started joining in a conversation. As many of you know, I do that quite a lot. And I was quite interested to find out that this particular person, the first thing they did was go to LinkedIn and check me out to see if I was worth talking to. And sometimes people will absolutely do that. So if your profile on there is not doing you justice, it's time for you to go and have a look at it.
And it's very interesting that often I'm asked by business owners and businesses I work with that, well, we don't do that. We don't look people up. Well, actually, A, you should, but B, other people do. So the fact is that if other people are checking you out, you want your online CV, which this really is, to be fully completed and really, selling you the best that it can.
And you can actually see when some people do check you out, even with the free version, which is what both of us have, on the right-hand side, when you're on your account, it will actually show you the last half a dozen people who've actually checked you out. So it's actually quite interesting sometimes just to go on there and see who these people are who have gone into your profile. So Dave's just going to flick over to his now and show you where we mean. And actually quite a lot of you are under the misapprehension because you don't pay for it, you don't see. So Dave could click on there and see who's been for a walk across his LinkedIn profile, and it will give you a percentage of them. So it's actually quite interesting sometimes to see your competition or who it is who's been, having a look at you. And every day you can go and have a look at this, and you'll see the last half a dozen on a free account.
And while we're on this screen, this bit here on the right-hand side shows you how often you've appeared in search results. And part of what we're going to talk about in a bit is actually how you can appear more often and get yourself found for actually what you want to do. But before we go to that, one of the things also that some people we teach and train don't realize is actually the profile link that LinkedIn gives you normally has numbers and everything in. And what you can actually do is actually edit that. So actually you can make it more user-friendly. So actually if you're going to put it on a business card or in your email address or anything like that, that actually you can actually change that to whatever you want, obviously if it's not already taken. So on your LinkedIn profile, if you come here to this public profile, so you see I've already changed mine, so it actually has very nicely David A.P. Griffin. David Griffin had already gone. And all you need to do is click on edit there, and it will bring up this screen here. And it comes here with your current URL. Now for a lot of people that will have numbers and everything, which isn't very friendly, you can click on customize your URL, and here's the bit where actually you can put in your name. So it could be Dave Griffin, it could be Dave Griffin UK, it could be Amanda, what's yours?
I think it's Amanda Hill UK.
Yeah, I think yours is Amanda Hill UK. So you can make it a lot more friendly. Now obviously this is a worldwide thing, so it could be that your name, your first and last name's already gone, especially if it's more common names. So you have to become a bit more inventive.
Common. I don't have a common name, I have a popular name.
Yes, you say potatoes, I say potatoes. More prolific. We'll sort that out later. But this is a great thing because actually the easier you make it for people to be able to remember your LinkedIn connection, it is actually well worth doing. So that's just one simple thing that you can do to actually make finding yourself on LinkedIn so much easier.
I can't help it. If Amanda Hill won The Apprentice in America, what can I say? It's a very good name.
No comment. Next thing I find, some interesting pictures I found here, and which unfortunately I can't do transitions, otherwise I would have brought them in one at a time, which would have made it more interesting. But the top left there is one of the no-nos when it comes to pictures, and we see this a lot of time, is people using avatars, cartoon characters or whatever to actually do that. LinkedIn is a professional social network. You need to have a professional picture. So
the one in the middle is perfectly professional.
Although the one in the middle I would say is very attractive, and the one on the right I put in to balance out the one in the middle, just to be seen as completely fair and applying to both genders. It is not appropriate on LinkedIn to have that type of picture.
Unless she's a bikini model.
Unless she's a bikini model. But for the most of us, I would say that that is not an appropriate picture to put there. Because, again, this is your professional image, this is your CV. Also, shots of you hang gliding, bungee jumping or whatever, shots of you on the, it's just not appropriate. It's what's appropriate. And the bottom left one and I hope the guy's not on the webinar because actually I can't remember where I got it from, is actually a photo from LinkedIn. This was someone's professional picture that they put up there to say, you know, this is my CV, this is me, come do business with me. And I think probably that's enough said about that particular picture.
Didn't have a very good, was it a camera or is it his phone that he's trying to do it with?
It could be either, but you know, that's the sort of thing you may see on some other types of sites, I believe, but maybe Facebook or something, but certainly doesn't apply on LinkedIn. Okay, so now very interestingly, one of the questions you should ask yourself is, what is it you want to be found for on LinkedIn? If people are searching LinkedIn, and you saw that, you know, I've turned up so many times in the last day, I think it was 9 times in the last day on LinkedIn searches, what is it you actually want people to find you for? So for example, as you can see from this particular screenshot, is I actually, the bits that are highlighted in yellow, I actually want to be found for the term business coach, because that's my primary role, my primary job, and that's what I want to be found for. So what we're going to do now is switch back to LinkedIn itself. I'm just going to show you a little bit about, you know, a lot of people, a lot of businesses and business owners, when they put their profile on LinkedIn, they start putting themselves as managing directors, partner, or things like that. Now, this particular area I'm showing here, which is your sort of headline, really is a keyword-rich area that you want to put in the terms that you want to be found for. And I'm going to go through all the areas that applies to. But people are not likely to search for you as managing director. So, for example, so if I type in business coach and click search, this will now come up with a list, and it starts off by actually coming up with a list of all the business coaches in the world. And there I am, I'm actually ranked 9th in the world out of business coaches. So it brought up basically 345,000 results for business coaches in the world. So if someone was searching, I appear on the first page, and actually the 3rd and 4th people there I actually have coached. So they're Business Wealth Club mentors, the same as I am, and I've coached them and actually helped them get that ranking. So very, very important that you try and appear on page 1 of the results that you want. So if I took that down, because most people would actually say, right, okay, I'm not going to search the whole world, I actually just want to search the UK. So we can now see I appear 3rd. So the chances of someone doing business with me are increased, or contacting me and building a network with me are very, very much important. And again, the top 4 here are all Business Wealth Club mentors. So again, that's part of my organization that I have a franchise for. Paul Avins there is actually the owner and founder of that. But you can see the power of being found. Over to you, Amanda.
Only because you're going to search for me next. I started doing this, and I did it unintentionally originally. When Dev and I were having a chat and we were having a search for things, I looked at it. I actually do appear on page 2 worldwide, but actually for social media it seems to be the in thing. Worldwide, I think there were 800,000 views for that, which is a bit mad. As you can see, I now do come number 1. In fact, it isn't just for that search term, but it's most of the search terms associated with my world. So for Twitter or for Facebook or varying other things, or for training, I do rank for it. And it didn't take very long to start going up there.
So very, very simple. If we go back to our profiles, actually, let me take you back to the PowerPoint, and this will be on the recording for you, so you can have a look at this and actually do this for yourselves. And I very much suggest you do that, is actually have a think about what is it people should search for you. So for example, are you a web designer? Are you a videographer? Are you a photographer? Are you a florist? Whatever the term is that you actually think people would search for, that's the sort of keywords that you want to start putting into the key areas on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is actually quite archaic, really, in this keyword density, because Google, where this used to work for, has now moved on light years ahead of this, the basic keywords density. So either putting the keyword in as much as possible don't really count for that much in the rankings. But with LinkedIn, it still does. So you can really, appear on that page one, either of the world or certainly of the UK, for the terms that you want. So think about, okay, so I'm a videographer, is it videos, is it video marketing, all the different terms that you could think of. And then what you want to do, so up here, as we've sort of said, is your professional headline. So you want the keywords to appear in there as much as possible. Now, word of warning, don't just dump that word in there as many times. So just put social media, social media, social media, because people will go that, people are going to read these and go, okay, that just doesn't make sense. It doesn't look right. They've obviously done it just to really sort of spam the keyword bit. So it needs to be relevant and actually look right. The next area that you can put it in is past jobs. And I've put here, if applicable. If your past job, so for me, I have been a business coach and business consultant before, so it's applicable. So I put that into my previous jobs. But if you've changed jobs completely and it's not applicable, then don't try and force those keywords in there.
Also, if you can see, I've saved spaces by stealing those, well, the black stars I think I stole off your profile, and then I went and found some prettier ones. Please feel free to steal our stars and just copy and paste them, because it'll save you putting spaces and whatever, because you do have limited numbers of spaces to fill up with varying things. You can also see in the title, in my name, I've actually put it up there as well. I personally am very happy to put my company or what I do and my telephone number in my name section, which is where I've changed that. If you want to do it, go for it. Please feel free to nick the stars. Lots and lots of my competition seem to be doing that recently, which is quite fun, and I'm quite pleased that somebody's taking notice.
And one of the reasons that actually we started putting stars in it actually just breaks it up and actually makes it more noticeable. So, it's just one of those things that actually, try and, it's professional, so you can't be too out of the norm, but actually just try and do a little few bits to actually try and be creative. So as you can see, the stars are in here and up there. So we've got current jobs, so you can see the word business appears an awful lot in there. Past jobs, if applicable, it will appear in there. One of the other areas that you can use is this summary area, and you can see what I've done here with mine is actually broken my business coaching and mentoring down into all the different areas of a job that actually apply to the business coaching and mentoring as I do. Also specialities, again, is the same sort of thing. Now, some people might say, well, actually that appears twice, so is that good? Other people do it many, many times, so I would say twice isn't a problem, but be careful. So in your experience, again, so this is the jobs that you've had, all those bits will appear. So you put the keywords in there. Projects, you can put them in. And the other areas that you can find is if you click here where it says experience, isn't that the place I don't think it is actually. No, it isn't. With specialities, you also have skills, courses, and the other bits. Oh, here we go, sections. That was a bit I was looking for. You can add a section, and these are all sections that you can add in, and courses, organizations, skills, where you can put those keywords in lots of places. That is where the LinkedIn pick those keywords up from, and that's what gives you your ranking.
On the courses one, I think it's probably looking for courses that you have done, whereas I put courses that I teach. Because if you're in the enviable position of teaching stuff, why not show it off and put them in there?
Absolutely. I mean, be a bit inventive with this stuff and everything. So if you do training or courses, then put those in there, because then obviously that will give you the ranking, and then you will appear up in this search when it's done. You're going to appear very highly on the top pages. So the thing is, I mean, with all digital marketing, you want to be found. And those 9 areas are the key areas to put those terms in, put them in force, but don't do it so it just doesn't, as I say, don't dump the words in there. do it so it looks at flows and actually makes sense to people if they're doing it.
Dave was absolutely spot on though when he said it's back to how Google used to be. It is actually looking for the number of times that it sees your words mentioned, and it really is down to that. But please make it read right, or put it in a way that it actually looks, you know, to somebody reading through your CV as though you've not just made a bit of a hash of it and doodled all over the page, because that's sort of what it would look like.
Yeah, absolutely. And you will be surprised how many times people actually come and check you out. And as we said earlier with this who's viewed your profile, you can only see the last few people, but it's interesting to keep looking there and actually seeing who has actually done it. Now, a little tip for you is you can actually, in fact, if I go back into that, I think there was someone who'd done it. Right, you can see this top person is actually, you can't tell who it is. They've actually put someone in the entrepreneur function there. And what it is if you go to your settings, just wait while that loads, which will ask you to sign in again.
This is where you're hiding, you're being a ghost.
Yes.
I always say that people are leaving a digital footprint on your profile when they've walked all over it.
So one of the good things that you can do with LinkedIn is you can go and check out your competition. You can find out what they're putting and other bits and pieces, what they're up to. But if you're going to do that, go to your settings, go to this select what others see when you view their profile, and go and click on you will be totally anonymous. That way nothing at all appears. It would just be someone anonymous checked out your profile. The default is that your name and headline, so they will know exactly who's checked out their profile. So if you're going to go and do a bit of, let's call it research.
You mean you're going to be naughty and go and see what your competition who you didn't want to work with are doing?
Or whatever, then make sure that actually you are anonymous. They can't tell that you've been there. Now the other thing that happens is when you do that, if you left it there all the time, is the payback for you being anonymous is you can't see who's viewed your profile. So I'd only use it sparingly when you actually go and do that type of searching. Otherwise, I would normally leave it on the default.
Actually, I quite like it when I see who's been on my profile, and if they haven't asked to connect, if I think they look half interesting, I'll go and say, oh, thanks for looking at my profile. Would you like to connect?
Yeah, you know, it is a social bit, so actually, why not? The other bit that you know, with your profile, I mean, LinkedIn try and make it easy for you. They've even put a status bar here to tell you how complete your profile is. So you can tell by that if you've actually done, and actually that even you can get 100% and it's not going to necessarily be absolutely everything has been filled in. But it's pretty much that actually LinkedIn are happy that you've got most of the stuff there. But also you'll see this yellow button up here that says improve your profile. So again, LinkedIn are trying to help you. Where else did you attend school? It's going to prompt you.
You went to school?
Occasionally. Not as often as they wanted me to, but that's why I joined the military, to get some discipline, where I did attend everything there. So here it gives you to do, you know, update your education, add your skills, add more details. So LinkedIn really try and help you get this as right as you can. The other thing that we've got here in your profile is the number of people you're connected to. One of the questions I often get asked is, you know, can people see who I'm connected to? Well, again, in the settings, you have the choice of turning that off. Personally, I leave it on because I'm happy for my connections and people who come and view me to see who I'm connected to.
Whereas I've turned mine off.
Yes. So it's, you know, each to their own. And also, you know, it'll say 500 plus connections. As soon as you go over 500, that's what it says. On your home page, it'll actually tell you how many people that you are connected to. And obviously the idea of LinkedIn is to reach out. And I've got a hell of a lot of people I'm connected to, and there's a reason behind that because I tested something out. So I've got 7,500 connections, which links me to almost 18 million people worldwide. I would highly recommend that you don't worry about connecting to that level of people. I always teach and we train, connect with quality, not quantity. It's about who your target client is and making sure that you find them on LinkedIn and you connect with them and have a good quality relationship with them. One of the problems with connecting with an awful lot of people is you then get a hell of a lot of noise through your update stream but it's very difficult to actually keep track of the people you want to know of what they're doing.
But also one of my key reasons for allowing people to connect is, how can I help you? And if I've got that much noise going on, it makes it incredibly difficult for me to think, oh gosh, what the heck did such and such want, and who was it who needed this? And I just can't handle that kind of noise, so I tend to use it less, and actually LinkedIn's probably one of the places I use less. Although, because of what I do, and because of the sheer volume of people that are looking for it, I think I'm getting somewhere in the region of appearing in between 60 and 70 times a day in people's searches. So again, that's going to create an awful lot of noise. So if you're very, very good and you're in a very up and coming area, you will be seeing an awful lot. So beware that you're going to get an awful lot of people trying to connect.
And that, in a way, that's a good thing and a bad thing. Obviously, you've got to filter out those connections that you may want to work with, etc. And when you've had a look, this area where it says, I've only been viewed by 6 people in the past days. Obviously, I'm very unpopular at the moment. But actually, if you go and have a look at your profiles, you may find that actually you've only been viewed by 6 people, and rather than the past day, that could be in the last 3 weeks. So the more that you can optimize your profile here and what you're found for in the searches, will really make you start turning up in those searches more and more often, which obviously the more often you appear in the searches, the more opportunities there are for business, for joint venture partnerships. I've had some connections all around the world who've wanted to partner with me and do work in the UK. So it really is a huge potential. Now, one of the things that we're not going to go into tonight, but we will do in a future webinar, is actually finding your target clients here on LinkedIn. Is actually how to use the advanced function and actually go in and find who your target clients are, and then start connecting with them in the way that LinkedIn want you to, and also in the way that LinkedIn don't really want you to, but works very effectively.
Yes, I have had clients have their LinkedIn accounts frozen for being naughty. So you need to be aware that LinkedIn don't like you to spam the world. If you try and connect to people who you're not connected with, they have an option to say, I don't know this person. LinkedIn, when you've got a certain percentage of people saying, no, I don't know this person, will freeze your account or even close it down.
Yeah, so as soon as 5 people say that actually they report you as spam, or as it used to be, I don't know, is that they will then freeze your account. And that has happened to several people that I know. So 5-point starter plan, really, an optimization plan of what you need to do with LinkedIn. First of all, what we discussed obviously is about getting your personal URL, and that URL really needs to go into your email footers, your business cards, your your business stationery, online and offline, certainly on your website. If you want to connect with people, you need to let them know where they can connect with you.
And also put it on your emails at the bottom and have a nice little link.
Yeah. So make it simple for them. Secondly, make sure you've got a good quality picture on your profile. We saw some examples there of what's not appropriate, although maybe it does stand out from the crowd, but what's not, in my view, appropriate for your business.
Hey, the Bikini Girl's going to get a lot of connections.
But possibly for the wrong reasons. But
Maybe.
even so. There we go. The other thing actually is the picture, talking of that actually, which actually reminds me, is the picture needs to be a recent picture of you.
Unlike yours. No, sorry, that's not true.
Mine's about 18 months out of date. It's not that old. At least I do look like that. So what you don't want is to have a picture up there of, maybe 10 years old or something, showing you maybe at your best, and then people meet you in, the flesh, and actually they don't put the two together. So there's no point doing that.
You know what? It's so funny. You go to some of these networking things, and everybody is looking around the room because they know there are people in the room that they know the name of and they've been chatting to prolifically. But because they've put the most flattering of pictures on there, they actually can't find anybody in the room that looks anything like their picture.
No. So be proud of who you are and put an authentic picture of yourself up there. That way, when you do meet them in the flesh, people will recognize you. So the next one, which is, it really is a simple one, but complete all sections of your profile. Put some time aside in your diary to make sure that that profile really puts you in your best light, and think about what people are looking for, as in your keywords, which is the next one. But also what the benefits are to them of doing business with you. So it's not about the features of your business, it's about actually, you know, what's in it for them to connect with you.
It might be that you've got a particular skill that's quite rare and you can help them with their business. You might have won all sorts of awards, that's quite a cool thing, but it's actually not a benefit to them. I would put the awards in elsewhere, and there are sections on LinkedIn you can do that, but try to think as though you were a third party reading your profile when you're actually completing it. What would you like to see in somebody else's profile that's going to make you want to read more, or perhaps
is that people aren't spending time reading it. You need to really hook them in quite early. And then obviously the fourth point we've got on here is optimize your profile so that you're on page 1 of search terms that you want to rank for. Can't, you know, stress that enough, that by using those simple techniques we've shown, have a recording of this so you're words in there. And that could be, you know, you should have banned social media, but this also applies to Facebook, YouTube, you know, all the subsections of what people would look for. You can put in and, you know, rank for those as well. So, you know, make sure you're found.
Yeah, feel free to go on either of our profiles to see what we have done. I was quite horrified to find my husband was nowhere when I looked for what he did. He's a chartered surveyor and he works in the London and the Essex area. So when I typed that, and I sort of expected to find him, and given that he listens to me prattle on quite a lot, I was absolutely horrified when I got to page 10 and he still hadn't turned up. It took me 20 minutes to actually get him to rank page 1, not only for the London area, but also by being quite clever and putting all of the little location areas, because these rank in Google as well as in LinkedIn, and actually they'll possibly outrank your own website or anything else that you're on, and it may be the first chance that somebody has of connecting with you.
Yeah, the geographical bit, that's easy for me to say, the geographical bit is very, very important. You know, you don't have to do it, but if you do, that will really help you get found in a local area. So if your business is local to a specific location, then include that, you know. So so for social media, we could have Berkshire social media, as we're in Berkshire at the moment.
And if they Google that,
and we Google that, they will actually find us.
They will find
so you know, it's all about it's all about being found, because people will be searching, and it's actually being found for what you want to rank for. Before I go on to 5, one of the bits I've not put on here is I would also to really make your profile rock is about getting those recommendations. It's so simple with LinkedIn. If you don't like asking for recommendations and testimonials, which really is what recommendations are on LinkedIn, it's testimonials, then they have a system whereby they'll go and ask your connection. You know, you just tell them who you want to ask for what job, and they'll go and ask for you. So it just really simplifies it. But the whole point of business is social proof is so powerful, is that, you know, if you've got, you know, even if you've got 20 recommendations and they look at one of your competitors who's got none, then who are they more likely to use? They're more likely to use you. So it's really worth your while using the LinkedIn system. And of course, once that's there, you can always copy those and actually put them then into your, you know, if you're sending out quotes, I always recommend as a business coach that you send out a quote. You also send out a page of testimonials with it, because it's social proof of people who found your services really worthwhile. So I know we're British and we're reserved and we don't like to shout about how good we are. So instead of you shouting about how good you are, let your satisfied customers and clients do it.
I have to admit, I'm absolutely rubbish at doing that. But one thing I would recommend is when you do use the little LinkedIn way of doing it, there is an option on there to personalise the little email that goes to everybody. So on there, put you, because they know who you are, they know how you speak. So just change the wording that they're going to give you, so the person who gets it knows it's actually from you rather than just a computer-generated thing.
Never ever, with only that goes for connections as well as recommendations. Absolutely. Actually, LinkedIn very nicely put in the default message. Never send that. Always personalise it. Always put a little bit in. Even if you have the same personal message you send to everybody, at least, you know, you can put that into a text file or something and copy and put it in. But don't send out the default LinkedIn stuff. It just shows actually that you really don't care enough to actually spend the time to change it. Okay. And finally, before we go to questions and answers, is just a little offer we've got for you. Is actually, if you want help, if you want someone else to have a look at your LinkedIn profile, we're offering a free LinkedIn profile review. If you go to our Facebook page, which you can see there is www.fb.com/The Social Media Cafe, or just go into Facebook and look at The Social Media Cafe, and just put on there that you'd like a free LinkedIn profile review, and we will sort that out for you. And we will help you look at these different points and actually really optimize that so that it looks absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you want to do it on Skype, go and find us on Skype, which is the Social Media Cafe. I'm very happy to help you. You will need to book the time, unfortunately, because it gets a bit mad and a bit manic, and we're all over the place. So, yeah, absolutely. Please just come and connect and do whatever. And actually, by coming on to any of the other social media sites, you can actually come and say hello, and everybody else who's on there sees who you are. We also do have groups on LinkedIn that you're very welcome to come and join. Come and look us up and just look for the Social Media Cafe. And if you're one of these who are quite wary about chatting in public, there's a closed group on LinkedIn for the Social Media Cafe, which we have for exactly that purpose, and also on Facebook there's one as well. So there's a small number of people on there where you're quite safe to come and ask any questions that you fancy, and you're not going to be worried about too many people seeing you asking them, because we are aware as adults it's quite hard to ask for help.
Yeah, we firmly believe as trainers, there are no daft questions. The only daft question is the one you don't ask, and that's why we've created these groups to actually have safe environments where people can ask whatever they want, and we will help. Our whole thing about this is helping people out.
Absolutely.
That's what we want to do, is help you get the most out of your social media, and you can ask as many questions as you want. We're happy to help you as much as we can. That's what we love doing. So please come along and join us either on Facebook or LinkedIn. And we will, just ask your questions, and we will do that for you.
It looks like we've got a few questions there. What is it, Sarah? Hi, Sarah. Sarah wants to ask a question. She's got something.
Yeah, she just said actually that she went and checked out who has checked her out.
Right.
So she's finding out who her online stalkers are, and she's put how very interesting.
Yes, it can be incredibly interesting. How do you delete? What is it Vernon's asking?
So how do you delete connectors when you link to them more than once?
Oh, okay, that's unusual. They should have. Firstly, they should only have one profile, but obviously that can happen. But in your connections, there is a section on there where you can just delete them. Do you want to go into your contacts and we can show Vernon how to do that?
Mine will take a while to load up. It's one of the pains of having.
When you just click on somebody's connection, you actually have a delete button just over on the top right-hand side, and you can just delete them off, Vernon.
It's currently unavailable, so it's not going to allow us to do that.
Vernon, go into your connections, and if you click on somebody, or just click on the box to the left-hand side of them, over on the right-hand side it'll say delete connection, and it will ask you, do you really want to do that? That looks like you've had somebody close an account, which is quite interesting. And where is it going to be? It should be just over on the right. It might be that we've got a problem with the webinar thing hiding it. There, remove connections over on the top right-hand side.
Up here, the top right-hand up there.
So if you just click on that, Vernon, it'll actually delete them. It will ask you, do you really want to do this? And
so actually, if I do that for that person, whether it will let me because their account's closed.
And then absolutely you ought to clean things up. It might not let you because of the webinar thing as well. But that is exactly where you do it, and that's a very relevant thing. You should really keep an eye on who it is that you're connected with and check for stuff like that. And also actually prune them. If you're connected to half the world because you chose to do that, it might not be in your best interest to be connected to somebody in the back of Beyond who's only using your account to spam you and do whatever. So, feel free to go and delete them if that's what you want to do. It makes it much easier for you to actually concentrate on the people that you are connected with.
Okay, so Paul Dean's asking what's our Skype IDs. Well, actually, because our Skype IDs are individual to us, so mine is Dave-Griffin.
And mine is The Social Media Cafe, which should be in the UK, Paul.
Yeah, you didn't have the dirt in the front of it. It was just putting Social Media Cafe in. So Angus is asking, do people get notified when they get unconnected? No,
No,
they don't.
Absolutely not.
No.
When you unconnect with people, the only way they find out is when they come to talk to you.
So Alexander's asking, how do you change your current and past jobs, I'm assuming? It will not allow you to put the position, automated ads and at, how to get keywords and so on there. Okay, so that's quite a long question, Alexander. What we'll do is actually take that and I'll answer you that outside the webinar, so I can take you through that.
Yeah, absolutely. But yes, you can, and yes, you can put stuff in the past, and yes, you can edit it. You can edit every single thing in the past. It's got its own little section next to it. So we're just going to copy and paste that so we can take it offline, and very happy to connect with you, Alexander, and do it. But look on everything in the past and look just to the right to it, and you find it has an edit button for every single one.
Okay, so and Luke's saying, I've just uploaded my CV, but it keeps asking me to even though it's uploaded, and they won't get me further to complete.
Yeah, it's a pain in the neck uploading CVs. LinkedIn, like all of the social media platforms, is going through whole heaps of changes all the time. It's a real nightmare. Sometimes it's actually quicker to sit and do it bit by bit, Luke. So I'm really sorry to have to give you that. I hope you haven't had 50 jobs, but you might want to cherry pick what it is you're putting up, and I've had that in the past with people. You tell it to do something and it just doesn't. It is a nightmare. I'm really sorry, my dear. You might just have to put a little bit more time into it.
Absolutely, Luke. It's unfortunately a job of a manual input to actually get the best out of it.
Hi, Sarah. The Facebook group is called the Social Media Cafe. We're connected. I'm very happy to put you in, and obviously we need to be connected to people to put them in the group.
So that's our Facebook page. If you go to the Social Media Cafe and say that you'd like to go in, oh, Sarah's very quick, she's right there, and actually so Stephen, excellent, they've already taken action, liking they want their profile reviewed. I didn't know they'd done that. Nice work, fellas. I like that you're, I like people who take action very quickly.
It'll be at some point after tomorrow's event that I'll get back to you, but I do promise to everybody who asks, I absolutely promise by the end of the week I will have come back to you to give you a hand.
Yeah. So that's our Facebook page, but if you want to be part of our Facebook group, which is the closed group, just come to the Facebook page, say that you'd like to go into the group. The group is closed, so actually it's only people we invite or get asked and we put them in, so that it just stays of people who are in a safe, supportive environment where they're supportive, they help you. We help each other, it's not just us, actually other people give advice and everything, and it's just a nice little safe arena where actually you can ask all your social media questions. If you're not happy about other people seeing them, if you're happy that everyone sees them, then obviously just join our Facebook page and you put it in there, no problem whatsoever, so just go there and like that. Luke's saying actually he's very lucky, he's only been at a uni year, so he's not got tons of that.
Angus, we've got 2 LinkedIn groups on for the Social Media Cafe. One is an open group, which means half the world can actually see what it is we're talking about. The other one is closed. It is incredibly difficult to get people to ask questions and interact on LinkedIn for whatever reason, unless you're doing something that is controversial. We actually find more and more people do stuff within the Facebook page. However, that might now change, because for those of you who are using Hootsuite, as of about 10 days ago I think we spotted it, Hootsuite will allow you to use Hootsuite to post to a group on LinkedIn, which it never did it before. Yes, Sarah, I'd be delighted to add you when I get onto my laptop later on. As you probably guessed, for the first time ever, we're working off the same laptop, because we happen to be in the same location because of the event tomorrow, and that's a very rare thing because we're normally 90 miles apart. But yes, absolutely, as soon as I get 5 minutes and get off here, I promise to add you if Dave hasn't done it beforehand, my dear.
And just for those of you that may have not heard of Hootsuite before, that's HOOTSUITE. It's a fantastic dashboard that allows you to post to lots of different social media all at the same time. It's one we highly recommend.
Absolutely.
There is a free version. There's also even the paid version is only something like
$5.99.
Yeah, $6. So it's about £4 a month, which has more power to it. But start off with the free version. Very, very powerful of ways you can schedule your social media going out. You can post to different ones, and as Amanda was saying there, they've now just changed it. You can actually now post from there into LinkedIn groups, which is now another, makes it even more powerful than it was before, and it's something we highly recommend that people do. So
okay, on the Facebook.
Deanna's asking there, how can I know the difference between the open Facebook of the Social Media Cafe and the closed one?
If you come on the Social Media Cafe wall, which has got a nice pink and blue banner on it, and say, please can I be invited, you will only be added to the closed one, which is a group, by one of us, and we will tell you that we have put you in the group. So that's the difference, Deanna, and when you go to it, it is a group. It will tell you it is a group. It doesn't have a big banner on the left-hand side. It has a little picture on it. Do you want to nip into the group so they can see the difference?
Oh, I don't know. That's a bit technical.
If you just click on home and pick it off your own. Oh, it's there anyway at the bottom. Okay, so this is what the group looks like. You can see there's a bit of a banner.
I shouldn't be showing them this. People think it's closed.
Thank you, my dear. I'm glad you set up a LinkedIn profile. So, shush, we promise that we haven't, the 30-odd people that are in that group, we haven't shown them anything naughty.
No.
This is the Closed Social Media Cafe group. We're very happy if you want to come in. As you can see, there are documents and stuff in there, which is stuff that we're sharing with people, and you have free access to everything in here. You can come and ask for all sorts of stuff. Any questions you've got, either one of us will come back to you or one of the other members are very happy to chip in. Everybody's at a different stage, at a different level, and that's the whole point of a group. We all have very different perspectives on stuff as well, and it's just nice to be able to have somebody at the same level as you, because you don't feel quite so silly asking questions.
So, Deanna, you're on about you want to join the open group. So literally our open group is actually our Facebook page for Social Media Cafe. So just go along, like it, and then obviously you can join in the conversations and everything we have there. You can post to it, ask questions, etc. And we now have 4 people requesting a LinkedIn profile.
I'm going to be busy this week.
I love that. Well, we are. We will share that.
Excellent.
So Angus is saying, I so want one of those banners.
I'll sort you out.
Have on the left-hand side. Obviously, we're not doing Facebook tonight, but we should do these banners. If you do not have a banner on Facebook, on a page, a business page, you should be making use of this whole real estate that you have
all
here.
The 180 pixels by 520 pixels. There is a YouTube video on the YouTube channel on how to create one.
On the Social Media Cafe YouTube channel, there is a video of how to create it. But instead of just having a picture, you can have a whole banner. And you should be doing that and actually putting there about, what your business does, connection numbers, etc.
So, have we got any more questions? Was Deanna just having a laugh at us, bless her?
Yes.
Excellent. Right, how long have we got left? I know we haven't got lots. Right, we've got 8 minutes. Whoever the first one is who comes in, we'll have a quick look at their LinkedIn thing. Have we got time to do that, do you think?
Ooh, it's a bit dangerous going live, isn't it?
Ooh, whoever's the first one to ask me a question, to go and have a look at their LinkedIn page now. Let's go and do it now. Anybody want to come up and have a crack?
I think someone's put their hand up. Alexander Knox, I think.
Alexander,
yeah.
Let's go and have a search for you. Alexander,
yeah, Alexander
what do you do?
First.
Should we put Alexander live? Is that naughty?
Maybe we can unmute him.
Hello, Alexander. Oh, you're very noisy in the background, my dear, but if you want to talk, go for it. And we'll go into LinkedIn and have a quick search for you, my dear.
Yeah, okay. The only thing is you won't find me under Alexander. On LinkedIn, I use my first name, which is Dennis Knox, and the company's OCs, OSSEAS.
You say Dennis, did you?
That's correct,
Dennis
yeah.
Knox?
Yes.
Let's see what we find. Right, Dennis, what do you want to be found for, my dear? What is it?
Well, there I am, number 2.
Well, you are on there because we've typed your name in, so I would sincerely hope that you do watch for your own there. But if you tell me what it is that you do, Dennis, what we'll do is we'll search for what you do and where you are.
Okay, well, I'm a consultant in the offshore oil, gas and energy industry. I supply project management and project direction to companies, operators, CEOs, shareholders, stakeholders.
Oil and gas consultant. Do you want to just do the search for oil and gas consultant and see who comes up? Okay, so let's have a look. You don't appear to be coming page 1.
Okay.
Do you work worldwide, Alexander, or do you just work in the UK?
No, worldwide, based in London.
Okay, so not on page 2.
Okay, we need to do some work on your profile because we're on page 3 already.
And everyone else who's listening, this applies to you. Go and put the terms in yourself for yours when the webinar's finished, and go and find out where you come. We do this on our trainings that we run, and then we start by changing through, you know, little bit by bit doing the headline, and actually very quickly we can get people to page 1.
I think you need to put more keywords in your search.
Yeah, that was my question, getting the keywords in there.
Yeah. So what we can do, Dennis, is with you know, if you want to review, which you, Alexander, rather, stranger to know, but never mind. Is we can actually help you think about what terms you want to be found for, and then make sure we get them in all the right places, and we'll get you onto page 1. No problem at all.
Yeah. I mean, I was quite shocked. I did it step by step to see what happens, and it doesn't take long, I promise you, to get you there. Luke, you put in your postcode. Yeah, LinkedIn's fallible. It can't even spend St Albans. So if any of you live in St Albans, I'm really sorry. It doesn't do postcodes terribly easily. They're not going to look for you by postcode anyway because they don't know it. They're going to put a location. So don't panic too much. Alexander, if you make sure you put on the Facebook page, and I promise, or send one of us a message, that we will go through your account with you and we'll give you a hand.
Okay, I said something on the hub, but I don't appear on your page. Don't know why. Social Media Cafe Hub.
It's the Social Media Cafe. It needs a "the" in front of it.
I've got it here, but it doesn't let me post.
We're going to meet them. Yes. World War III was just I think that took me back to my military days of the life. So there we go. So we're pretty much out of time now. But anyone else, again, if you want your profile reviewing, if you want help with going through what terms you should be found for, what, you know, it always helps if we're doing that.
And we're just going to switch back to the last slide, I think, which is telling us when the next one is. Or maybe not. I was asked earlier today, what are we going to talk about next? And we didn't actually quite get around to telling you. We're actually going to talk about Twitter next time. So for those of you who are thinking, what the heck is Twitter? We are going to be talking about varying apps that can help you use Twitter so much better. So it'll be things that can help you clean your Twitter account and get rid of those people on there who are not using it, and varying other apps that are out there for free for you to get absolutely the best out of your Twitter account. I apologise that we have run out of time this evening. Please feel free to go and post lots of questions on the Facebook page, and we promise we'll come to you. If you want access to the group, absolutely tell us, we'll put you in it. You will need to connect to one of us on Facebook for us to be able to do that for you. I hope this has been really useful to you, and I look forward to seeing your wins on there from what you've got from people finding you.
Yeah, so it'd be lovely to see there actually what page you started out at, page 10, 20 or whatever, and actually then when you get to page 1, that would be fantastic to see that. So thanks guys for listening, thanks for joining in, and we'll either see you on the Facebook page, LinkedIn, or we'll see you at our next webinar on the 23rd.
And if you want a copy of it, we promise to send it out to you.
Take
care
care.
everyone.